Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to this week's coaching episode of the Rise of the Trades podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners to skyrocket leads, explode net profits without having to graft 60 hours a week and becoming that busy fool. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you the top 20 different marketing ways that you're going to be generating more profitable leads, getting more customers and winning more jobs in your trades and construction business by implementing these 20 different strategies. But before we go there, first of all, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all the tradesmen and women that travelled from all over the UK to attend our Rise of the Trades Summit last week, held in Sheffield. We got members travelling from as far north as Aberdeen in Scotland, all the way down to Sheffield, and as far south as Southampton, coming all the way up to Sheffield to spend the full day with me and my team and our ambassadors and partners and growth and inner circle members on what was a motivational and educational fantastic day. So thank you to everybody who attended and made the effort. I'd also like to say thank you to all of our avid listeners that tune in every Wednesday morning to listen to me and the strategies that I share. The feedback that we are getting and the value that you're receiving from these podcasts is incredible. And I'd also like to welcome you if you are a new listener to our podcast. Welcome. And what I'd advise everyone to do is consider hitting the follow or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to this episode on. And if I could ask you to also consider leaving us a review on the platform you're on, that would mean the world to me and my team and would help our podcast reach more listeners. Now, let's transition over to this week's coaching episode. I stood on stage last week at our Rise of the Trades Summit to kick off my live coaching session. And the first question that I asked everybody was this: what makes you all different and what is making you stand out from all your competition in your trade or profession? What makes you different? Because everybody is screaming for attention. Everybody wants eyes on their business. Everybody is wanting to stop the scroll on Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok to take notice of their business. And in today's modern age, the world is saturated with marketing content, with everybody screaming for attention. So my question was, what is it that makes you different and stand out for all the right reasons? And this is the exact same question that I ask all my inner circle members when we come into spending 5 full months working on all their marketing strategies. But it starts with a full month where we work on putting together the actual marketing strategy. And as part of that, I ask them the same question: what makes you stand out? But also, what are all the different marketing activities and strategies that you're all using in your business to generate leads? Now, the vast majority of cases and the hundreds and hundreds of people that have been through my program, when I say how many different strategies are you using to get noticed, it usually works out on average that every trades business is doing 3, 4 or top side 5 different things to market their business and get eyes on the business. And here are, let me tell you now, you might want to write these down. Here are the top 5 things that trades / construction businesses are doing in their business to generate them leads right now. Write these down. Number 1 is they're all using social media, whether that be LinkedIn for commercial work or whether that be a Facebook business page for their domestic and residential work. They're all using social media. But nobody's using social media correctly. They're posting the wrong content at the wrong time to a target market that's not even interested in what it is that they're selling. Number 2, they've all, or 99% of them, have got a website. And when I ask them, how many leads a day or a week does your website generate? There's hardly anyone that says, Craig, my website is generating leads on a daily or weekly basis on tap. So they've got a website, but it's just not working for them. Number 3, they're on some kind of trade directory. In other words, they're generating leads through things like Checker Trade or Which Trusted Trader. And you know what that's like on there, right? It's full of people wanting things doing for nothing yesterday. There is so many time wasters and tire kickers on these directories, right? How's that working for you? Well, it works all right. And then this odd person who says, actually, Craig, it does really well for me. And I'm like, that's great. But what happens if they were to switch that platform off and you're relying on that? Number 4 is word of mouth. Craig, we get all our business from word of mouth. We get loads of referrals, happy customers, clients passing our details on. Brilliant. Word of mouth is one of the best form of marketing. But word of mouth is never going to get you an avalanche of more leads. It's only going to bring you the same amount of leads in that you're getting now. To get more word of mouth marketing, you need a referral strategy. And the 5th one, write this down, paid ads. Craig, I've tried paid ads and they don't work. I've tried Facebook ads, I've tried boosting posts, I've tried Google ads, I've tried Google guaranteed. It's a rip-off. I've not generated any leads from it. Well, no, they won't do because they haven't got a paid ad strategy. They're winging it, throwing a little bit of money at paid ads, thinking it's going to be a miracle cure and everything's going to, magic wand's going to happen overnight, right? Listen, these are the 5 things that almost every trades business owner on the planet have either tried or are doing now. And if you're doing these 5, and maybe you're not doing them 5, maybe you're only doing 3, you need to be doing a bare minimum of 10 different ways of marketing your business if you're serious about scaling it and getting more work in. And in this episode, I'm not going to share with you 10, I'm going to share with you 20. The top 20. Because if you're only doing 3, 4, 5, or even 6 different forms of marketing, you're not doing anything different from your competitors because every mother crusher is doing the same crappy, old school, bog standard marketing tactics that everybody else is doing, so nothing makes you stand out. You're no different to somebody else that's working in a 10 square mile radius where you're listening to this episode now. There'll be 10 plumbers, 10 joiners, 10 sparkies, 10 landscape gardeners, 10 plasterers, 10 roofers. Where you're sat now that are all doing the same amount of marketing. So what makes you different? Well, let me tell you now, what's going to make you different is you doing things that other business owners are not prepared to do. And I always keep saying, when you're prepared to do things what other people aren't prepared to do, then you'll get results. So we've got to start bolting more marketing tactics, strategies and ideas onto what we're doing if we want to get seen more and we want to get more leads coming into our business. And if we don't, and we just keep doing the same marketing and the same marketing that everybody else is doing, these 5 negative impacts could happen to you and your business. So write these 5 negative impacts down, because the likelihood is you could fall into this trap. And actually, as I'm rattling these 5 off, I want you to think, actually, is that me now? Because if any of these 5 are you now, then clearly you've not got the right marketing strategy. Number 1 is what I call feast or famine, where sometimes you just get leads coming in, you're quoting jobs, you're winning loads of jobs, and then all of a sudden you're mega busy. You're mega busy. You've got more than enough work for you to cope. You then start considering about bringing other subbies in or taking on more staff because you think you're growing your business and you've got loads of work. But then there are them times where you're quoting loads and loads of jobs and nothing seems to be coming off. Then all of a sudden you've been from mega busy and now it's starting to slow down. Well, now panic stations start to kick in and you start to get worried and you start to think about, am I going to run out of work, right? So it's feast and famine, which is inconsistency with marketing. And if you've got your marketing right, then you will have a steady flow of vetted leads coming into your business at the same rate all the way through the year. And even seasonal businesses, such as maybe plumbing and heating engineers that get mega busy in winter. Or the complete opposite of that, you're a landscape gardener and in winter, obviously nobody wants work doing on the gardens and your work starts to tail off. Listen, if you've got inconsistency and you've got feast or famine happening in your business, it's because you've not got the right marketing strategy and you won't be implementing these 20 different strategies that I'm going to show you. Number 2, competing on price instead of value. What I mean by this is when you're only relying on things like Facebook or your Facebook business page or a listing on Checkertrade, you're basically swimming in the same pool as every other tradesman in your area because everybody's doing the same type of marketing. And this usually ends up with a race to the bottom when it comes to price. If you're not standing out, you're forced to compete on price. There's nothing to separate the value of you and your business with everybody else because you're no different. You're just vanilla. You're the same as everyone else. This will kill your profit margins and kill your confidence as well. Number 3, a lack of control over your growth. You see, the vast majority of trades business owners say that they do want to grow the business. They want to get better jobs. They want better customers. They want a proper team. They want an office. They want a fleet of vans running on the roads for them, right? But you can't grow if you don't have control over the leads coming into your business. If your only source of work are things like word of mouth referrals, or you're hoping somebody finds you on your Facebook page, or you've got a website that's it's a miss when it comes to generating your leads, if it's a bit scattergun and it's all over the show, you are not in control, and therefore you are not in control of the growth potential in your business. You're winging it, keeping your fingers crossed that every week, every month, there's enough work coming in to keep you and your team going. We can't grow and scale a business if you're just winging it and keeping your fingers crossed that work's coming in. What we've got to do is predict the amount of leads that are going to come in and start to cash flow and project flow out. Hang on a minute, we're now at a consistent level of leads coming in. If we switched a few extra things on when it comes to our marketing strategy and we could increase our leads by an extra 15%, what would that allow us to do in terms of growth? Number 4, missed opportunities from an ever-changing marketplace. And what I mean by that is, the way in which people are now, customers and clients, searching and finding tradesmen and women in your local area has changed. You see, yes, people will always and continue to use Google, but when you've got up and coming platforms like TikTok, as an example, that is the most used social media platform as a search engine, people are now taking to things like TikTok to find leads, or focusing highly on review platforms like maybe Trustpilot or Google. They're watching videos, whether they be reels, short form video content on Facebook or Instagram. And they're also checking out things like Facebook groups and using Facebook groups to get referrals. You see, the way in which your target market are finding businesses now has completely and utterly changed. So you've got to identify where all these different areas are that people are now looking to find businesses like you. It's very simple. You could be the best tradesperson on the planet, but if nobody knows you even exist because you're marketing in places that nobody else is looking at, or you're doing the old school marketing and you're not up to speed with things like, let's say, like TikTok, then you're going to be missing out on massive opportunities. Number 5 is burnout from doing all this yourself. And what I mean by burnout is this. If in today's modern age of technology, you are not using software such as Leadzilla, which will systemize and automate all of your marketing content, as well as dealing with all the leads coming in and putting them into sales pipelines that trigger automated emails and text messages, and you can schedule your social media posts and you can have vetting forms and all this lot all done on autopilot while you're sleeping. If you are doing everything manually, like doing your own quotes, chasing up doing all your own invoices, having to manually book surveys in yourself, having to manually send social media posts out, having to manually create content because you're not using AI and chat GPT. If you're manually doing all this, you're trying to keep this beast going and you're trying to keep your team going because you need the work to feed the beast. All that's happening is you're getting burnt out. In today's day and age, when we've got software that can systemize and automate your entire marketing strategy and your lead generation and sales, you've got to be turning your attention to software like Leadzilla, right, to stop that burnout from happening. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning these 5 negative impacts is, having coached over 30,000 tradesmen and women, I know how difficult it is to keep up with your marketing. It's relentless. It never stops. Marketing is constantly evolving, new strategies, new ideas, new cutting edge technologies coming out, and you've constantly got to be on it. And I know that these 5 things that I've just rattled off to you now, many of you will be suffering from one, if not all of them 5 different areas. So if you are suffering and you're saying, actually, Craig, number 2 and number 4, what you've just rattled off is exactly me down to a T, then clearly you've got some work to do to massively improve your marketing strategy and the way in which you are generating leads coming into your business. Now, I'm going to give you the top 20 different marketing strategies. And what I want you to do, having listened to all 20, is I want your goal to be that you need to be doing a bare minimum of 10 out of these 20. Now, some areas you will already be doing, but they will be able to be massively improved on, because I'm guessing you won't have the right strategy for what it is you're doing now. And you'll be aware of that, and that needs improving. So for argument's sake, if you're doing 4 things now, what I want you to do is bolt on another 6 of what I'm going to share to get it to 10. Because unless you're doing a bare minimum of 10, you're never going to be any different to everybody else. And ultimately, you want to be working towards doing 15 or even pushing it up to 20. But let's be realistic. Marketing takes time. And even if you said, Craig, I'm motivated to do all 20, you're not going to have the time. And some of this is going to take a little bit of budget. So you're not going to have the time to do all 20. And you're certainly not going to have the budget just yet to attack all 20. But at least if you know what all 20 are, we can first of all get to 10 and get that working first. And then once the leads are coming in and you're making more profit and you've got some surplus cash to invest back into your marketing, we can then look at the other 10. And then you can start bolting those on. So your goal is not to get all 20 in place now, it's just to get to 10. And once we've got to 10, we can push on from there. Now, what I'm also going to be doing is sharing some other podcast episodes that I've already released that will help you in some of these areas. So I want you to be listening out for other podcast episode numbers that I'm going to share with you. And to make it easy for you, I'm going to be dividing the 20 different areas down into 3 different categories, right? The first category we're going to focus on is what we call online marketing strategies. In other words, there are 11 marketing strategies that you can do online. We're then going to focus on the next set of strategies, which is in-person marketing strategies, where you can market your business not online, actually in person. And the third and final one is what we call print marketing. In other words, what can we print on and share out there to get people to know more about our business? So we'll break this down into 3 different areas. Grab your notepads, grab your pens, let's get stuck in. Let's start with the online marketing strategies. And there's 11 that I'm going to share with you. Now, these are in no particular order. I'm just going to give you what the 11 are and what you need to be working towards. Number 1 is social media posting. Organic social media posting across these 6 platforms in particular: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, and X. Now, I know that you'll be doing social media organic posting now, but I'm guessing that you haven't got a strategy on how to post, when to post, and who to post to. So what I want you to do is write down these 2 podcast episodes that's going to help you to pull together your social media organic posting strategy. You ready? The first episode is episode number 12, and that is called the 5-step marketing strategy to skyrocket more profitable leads. The next episode is episode number 40, which is called the 3 biggest social media mistakes trades business owners are making and how to fix them. But we've got to be using social media in a completely different way to which you're currently using it now, and this scattergun, winging it approach that you and your competitors are currently using. So number 1 is your social media. Number 2 is Facebook and Instagram paid ads. You see, your target market specifically for domestic and commercial will be on Facebook and Insta. And even though you might say, well, hang on a minute, commercial, how could they be on Facebook? They're, I'm B2B, I do business to commercial. Should they not be on LinkedIn? Well, yeah, they should be, and you're going to be organically posting on LinkedIn anyway. But you've got to understand that commercial business owners, let's say, are also on Facebook and Instagram as well, maybe personally. And that's something massive that commercial sector misses. So we've got to make sure that you are considering Facebook and Instagram ads, domestic and commercial, as long as you've got the right paid ads strategy. Number 3, Google ads. Now, Google ads are completely different to the strategy that we'd use for Facebook or Instagram. Let me explain why. When people go to Google, they're generally going to Google to solve a problem that they've got, right? So you're an electrician and you're doing solar panels. Coming into this time of year, as we're into now, coming up towards spring, people are going to start to think, do you know what? I could do with some solar panels, cut down on electricity costs, make a bit of money off at grid. So where would they go to look for solar panels? Would they go to Facebook, where they'd normally go to just get entertained and be social, or would they go to Google? The answer is they'd go to Google and they'd be typing in, I'm based in Sheffield, so they'd be typing in solar panel installation company Sheffield, or it might be boiler installation Sheffield, or it might be joiner in Sheffield. Are you with me? And the reason why they're going to Google is because they've got a problem that they want solving. Whereas Facebook and Instagram ads, you don't go on those platforms to have a problem solved. That's what we call distraction marketing, where you're trying and attempting to distract people in the feed, in the scroll, to take notice of your business. Now, I'm not saying you can't do Facebook and Instagram ads, because they will work with the right strategy. But what we have to understand first and foremost is most people, when searching for a service-based business, will go to Google first. Number 4, website and landing pages. Now, think about what I've just said. There are people still searching for Google, right, to find your product or service. But what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that the website is SEO'd correctly with the search terms that people are searching for on Google or on Bing to find your product, service or business. Because remember, they're searching to have a problem solved. Or, number 2, we'd build dedicated landing pages where what we're going to do with the landing pages is we're going to drive paid ad traffic, whether that be off Facebook or Instagram or Google Ads, back to a landing page, not your website. And this is where many people fall down when they say ads don't work. Because you should never, ever be sending paid ad traffic back to your website. Because all that's going to happen is people are going to hit your website from, let's say, that Google ad. And your website has got that much information on it about different products and services that aren't interested by this person. They want to find a specific product or service. So now you're sending traffic back to a website where they're going to get confused and there's a lot of distractions on a website and they can't find the product or service. So they bounce. And then we say ads don't work. You never run paid ad traffic back to a website. You always drive paid ad traffic back to a dedicated landing page. So what I want you to now do is go and check out these 2 podcast episodes that will help you when it comes to websites and landing pages and the strategies around them. The first one is episode number 16, and this is called the 16 fundamental features that will turn your website into an inquiry generating machine. In that episode, I give you the 16 features that you must build into your website to make it convert and get leads every day. The second one is called websites versus landing pages versus funnels. Which one generates the most amount of leads for your business? Now, remember what I've just said. Are you going to improve websites and work on SEO? Or are you going to build landing pages ready for paid ad traffic? Well, in that episode, which is episode number 30, I cover the pros and cons between websites versus landing pages versus funnels. Number 5 is local SEO, which is Google My Business Profile, the GMB. Now, I'm sure for many of you, you've already got a Google My Business profile set up. And the idea behind this is your Google My Business map wants to start ranking and showing high on Google. And how you're going to do this is by, number 1, getting more 5-star reviews than anyone else. So you need a review strategy. But number 2, I want you using Google Business Profile like a social media platform. Because just like you go onto Facebook to put a post of the job or the project that you've just completed, you need to start using Google Business Profile like social media. In other words, you need to be adding photos and videos along with keywords that describe that photo and video onto your Google Business Profile. Now, the reason why you do this is Google, as you know, works on keywords and SEO. So me, being a joiner by trade, I might go and fit a kitchen, right? So if I took a before and after picture of a kitchen, I could go onto my Google Business Profile and add a post like you do on your social media platforms. But what I'd be doing is the text that support the photo or the text that supports the video, I will be putting keywords in there like kitchen fitted in Sheffield. Because kitchen fitted or kitchen fitting or kitchen installers in Sheffield is something that your target market will be searching for. So think about your own business and your own trade. You might be a tiler and you've just tiled an unbelievable bathroom. Well, people are going to be searching for bathroom tiles or bathroom installation or bathroom renovation. So you'd put a photograph of this beautiful bathroom with the tiles that you've just fitted with the keywords, I've just fitted these mosaic wall floor tiles to a property in Sheffield, having worked on this incredible bathroom installation. So what we've got there is we've got tiling, we've got mosaics, we've got Sheffield, we've got bathroom, we've got installation as keywords that we've used to support that image or video. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start to get ranked. You're going to start to get these posts seen. And that's all going to help when it comes to the local SEO and you being found and ranking higher on the local maps. Number 6 is YouTube. Having a YouTube channel. But I don't mean just a YouTube channel where you're going to add the odd video into. I want you thinking about YouTube being the second biggest search engine on the planet. Number 1 is Google. And as we know, Google owns YouTube. And YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. So just thinking about the keywords, what would people be searching for on Google to find a video where you could solve their problem? Because let's face it, most people go to YouTube to find information out that usually helps them solve a problem. Yes, you can go to YouTube to be entertained, but more of that entertainment now is being taken off YouTube and put into things like TikTok. So YouTube now is a place where you can upload a video that's got the keywords in the title and the description, where when people are searching for, in my case, loft conversions Sheffield, and they type in that into YouTube, and you've got videos ranking in YouTube for them keyword search terms, then you will get found on Google, on YouTube, right? And remember what I said at the beginning of this episode. People are starting to use different places to find information. So people will be using YouTube because they want to visually see something. People are using TikTok because it's a quick way of being able to find information. Me, on the other hand, I've took it to a whole new level. Whenever I've got a question, I don't use Google anymore. I use ChatGPT. I'll just open the app on my phone, press the voice recorder, speak into it, and then ChatGPT is going to give me the answer. Again, people use different ways to find the information and to find your business. Having a YouTube channel is incredibly important. Number 7, email and SMS marketing. I'm sure you've all been involved or maybe even tried email marketing at some point. And email marketing is still incredibly powerful for helping you to get discovered, to build up a relationship and build up a rapport with a potential customer. Why? Well, for example, on your website, you need what we call a lead magnet, which is something of value that you're going to give away for free on your website, such as an ebook or a guide that's going to help that potential customer solve the problem they've got. But in return for you giving this valuable piece of content away for free, you're going to ask them for the email and the text, the phone number, the mobile number. And we can grab these, and these emails and these text messages then can deliver the link for them to download the ebook or the guide. But once we've got the email and we've got the text message or their mobile number, we can then start to drop them into nurture campaigns, warming that lead up, maybe giving them an offer perhaps, or letting them know that during the month of X, whatever it is, you've got a discount for the first 5 customers. Or we can trigger emails and text messages off to customers automatically through Leadzilla when they book an appointment for a survey perhaps. So email and SMS marketing is incredibly powerful. We use it all the time. And if you've ever been into one of my automations, which I'm sure many of you that are listening to this episode have done, you will know that you get automated emails and text messages from me. And I can tell you now, the open rate of text messages is far, far higher than the open rate of emails. Why? Because your emails can sometimes land into junk or spam, just depending on how your email delivery server looks at your email. Not everybody opens emails, we know that. But 9 times out of 10, people will open a text message. So by introducing SMS, text messaging, into your strategy is a massive bonus. Number 8 is blog articles. Blog articles, where you're going to write a blog article And that blog article is going to sit on your website. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that blog article in two ways. Number one, we're going to use it from an SEO point of view to help get that blog article discovered and found on Google by people searching for keywords. So let me give you an example. Going back to me doing loft conversions, one of the questions that we got asked all the time is, how much is a loft conversion and how long do they take? So what did we do? We created a blog article and we SEO'd it to the max with keywords for things like loft conversion Sheffield, how much does a loft conversion cost in Sheffield, how long does a loft conversion take to build in Sheffield, and our blog articles are SEO'd for those keywords. So when the blog article is sat on your website and your website is indexed and ranked on Google, you've got more chance of getting your blog article found on Google in a search engine by people typing in, how much does a loft conversion cost in Sheffield? Then your blog article will rank on page 1 of Google. The second way in which we're going to use blogs is, as well as being organically found on Google, we've got a powerful piece of content now, and that powerful piece of content is sat on one of our ultimate sales tools, which is our website. So you can take the URL, the domain name, to that blog article that's sat on your website, and you could write a social media post around it, and you could share that social media post along with the URL link on the post across social media organically. That way, anybody that sees that post can click the link. And when they click the link in the post, it takes traffic off of social media and takes them back to your ultimate sales tool, which is your website, to consume that blog article. And as long as your website is set up with the 16 fundamental features that I've already shared with you, which is in episode number 16, your website then will start to convert more of the traffic that's landing on it into vetted leads. Number 9, Facebook community groups. What you need to do is you need to identify what are all of the local Facebook community groups in and around your area. And then you need to join the groups. And what we're going to do inside that group is we're going to be helpful. We're going to answer questions. And you're going to end up becoming the go-to expert in your local Facebook groups for whatever it is that you do. What we're not going to do is start spamming the groups with spammy posts saying, I'm a scaffolder, I'm a joiner, I'm a roofer, I'm a plasterer. Does anybody want any plastering work doing? Ring this mobile number. All that has got to stop. And what you do is you start to add some really engaging questions into that group where you know you're going to get people commenting. Doesn't have to be anything about your business. Whatever the theme of that group is, you ask a question around the theme of the group. So it might be a car enthusiast group in Sheffield, right? I would then ask a question that's going to prompt engagement and comments around a certain car. It may well be that you're in a local community group and it's around nostalgia. You could then put a picture that you could find on Google about a road or a building that you found in 1912. The photos from 1912 that you find on Google, and you put that in and say, blimey, I drive past this every day. Can you believe this picture was taken in 1912? Does anybody else have any photos of old Sheffield they want to share? And what's happening here is you're starting to build up a bit of an authority in these Facebook groups. And if you set up your Facebook profiles, like I ask you to set them up, like a website with all the right features and all the right links in all the right places, right? Then people are going to go, who's this Craig Wilkinson that keeps putting these really interesting posts in? They're going to click your profile picture, and then before they know it, because you've set up your personal profile on Facebook like a website, then they're going to see immediately that you're a plumber, tiler, roofer, plasterer, renderer, fabricator. Do you get me? So we've got to be using Facebook groups very cleverly, like I teach my inner circle members. We've got to be doing this very, very clever, and I guarantee you'll generate loads of leads from them if you've got the right strategy. Number 10, online trade directories, such as Check a Trade, Rated People, My Builder, Bark's another one now, isn't it, that everybody's talking about. You've got Which Trusted Trader. There are loads. And some of these might be industry specific as well to your industry or sector. But again, getting the reviews and getting on these online directories is a great way of being able to get your business found. Now, yes, I accept that there's a lot of time wasters and tire kickers on, and it can be quite expensive to pay for some of these directories. But again, if you're dominating and you've got your marketing strategy right, and you've got your referral strategy right, and your review strategy right, you can soon start to dominate these trade directories, and then they become cost effective to market on. So number 10 is get on as many online trade directories as you can. Now, number 11 is something that some of you are going to raise your eyebrows at. But remember what I've said, when you're prepared to do things that other people are not prepared to do, then you'll generate results. So number 11 is radio advertising. And if you get the right strategy around radio advertising, and that's tied into a promo or a code that is given away on the actual radio advert itself, that sends traffic back to a dedicated landing page, and on that landing page, you've got an unbelievable offer on that landing page, we can soon start to get leads from radio advertising and the audio airways, a little bit like this podcast. We can soon get traffic off there onto a dedicated landing page with a no-brainer offer. Now, I've got 3 Inner Circle members right now that are using radio advertising, and it's very, very successful. They don't do it all year round. They choose the specific times of the year where they're going to do it based on their own target market and their own demographic. Are you with me? But radio advertising can seem expensive to start off with, but compared to paid advertising on maybe Google, it's a very cost-effective way of being able to drive traffic back to landing pages. Remember, you would never drive traffic back to your website because it's too distracting. There's too much on it. You drive people back to a landing page. Now, radio advertising, I'm sure in your local area, there are some bigger radio channels than others. But the smaller channels that people still listen to, they still get tens of thousands of listeners, can be really cost effective from a point of radio advertising. So go and check out number 11, radio advertising, maybe drop a few emails to a few local stations and just suss it out and find out what's involved and what the costs are. Now, what I want you to do from those 11 online marketing strategies that you already know about and you've already heard about, but you're not probably doing them, or you're not doing them with the correct strategy, what I want you to do is choose 5 of these online marketing strategies. Because the vast majority of these, other than radio and other than paid advertising, Everything else is free. So all it's going to cost you is an investment of time. Organic social media is free. Landing pages and blog articles is free. Adding posts and content into your Google business profile is free. Setting up a YouTube channel and adding videos onto that is free. Hunting around and finding local Facebook groups and posting there is free. Are you with me? So a lot of this is free marketing. It just takes time, which is why I'm asking you to choose 5, get them written down, and then get working on implementing the strategies into those 5 areas of online marketing strategy. So the second area is what I call in-person marketing strategies. And this is where we personally can build our reputation, build our authority and credibility amongst other people or other businesses, so we can start to build those relationships that in turn will start to market our business and generate more leads. So the 12th way of generating more leads is networking events. And for me, this is an absolute must for every single business owner. 18 years ago, me attending my very first networking event, although I hated the first networking event and I felt uncomfortable and it took me outside my comfort zone and I thought everybody were part of a cult, right? That was the catalyst to me transforming my business and my life. And since then, I've gone on to present the UK's largest networking events for trades and construction businesses only. And we've helped to generate over 120 million pounds worth of work for our Inner Circle members and Growth Club members that network at our events. And the event last Friday, the Rise of the Trade Summit, the whole morning session was around networking. In other words, we're a room absolutely packed full of every single trade that you could imagine in that room last Friday. And we got everybody networking and talking and promoting their own businesses because the architect needs a builder. The builder then needs every trade imaginable on that project. So networking is one of the most powerful ways of getting your business and personal branding out there, getting people to understand what it is that you do for a business, but more importantly, building up all those all-important relationships. Because it's not what you know in business, it's who you know in business that opens doors of opportunity that you cannot get anywhere else other than face-to-face networking. Now, there are loads and loads of local networking groups to where you're sat right now. If I were you, I'd contact all your local networking groups and I would go and attend them, right, and suss it out. Now, let me tell you now, the first time you do it or the first couple of times you do it, it'll feel strange. And you'll say, I'm not confident, I'm not comfortable, I'm outside my comfort zone, I don't like talking about my business, I don't want to be in a room with other people where I'm talking about my business. It's like almost like standing up and doing a best man speech. Well, listen, at Rise of the Trade Summit last week, we had hundreds of business owners doing one massive networking event, and almost every one of them had said to me in the run-up and at the event, Craig, I'm absolutely dreading this networking. I don't know what I'm going to say. I've never done it before. I'm in a room full of strangers. It's like my worst nightmare. I'm like, listen, you've got to push yourself beyond these boundaries and outside your comfort zone, because the magic happens outside the comfort zone, not sat in it. And remember what I keep reinforcing on this episode, when you're prepared to do things that other people are not prepared to do, then you'll get results. We had 130 people networking at the same time, and every single one of them after, go and check out our Facebook group, go and check out our Growth Club community, and look at the posts that went into them groups after. Everybody loved it. Everybody realised, hang on a minute, we're all the same. We're all here to help and support each other. We've all got the same challenges and issues and problems in as businesses. We've all got the same customers and demographic that we're after. This is about how can we scratch each other's back? How can I help you? Who can you introduce me to? Who do you know that might want my product and service? Are you in with this particular company? I've been trying to get in with that company for ages. Right, let me go and introduce you to their contracts manager. Are you with me? That's how networking works. And at the Trades Freedom Club, we run monthly networking events. We've got our in-person events like the Rise of the Trades Summit, but we also run every single month an online networking event for our Growth Club members to join us so we can all get to know who we are and what each other does. And then what we do as a community is we pass all the work and the leads and the referrals between our community. Are you with me? We keep all the work passed and the contacts between ourselves. So you've got to get out there and get networking. If you're just rattling around in your van or sat in the four walls of your office and you're not meeting new contacts, you're missing out massively, because it's who you know and the people that we can introduce you to that will open doors of opportunity for you. In fact, at the time of recording this episode, I'm recording this on a Monday, tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. is our online networking event run by one of my Inner Circle members, Steve Thompson. Are you with me? We've got to be doing this, and it helps take you outside your comfort zone and builds your confidence. So number 12, you've got to be doing and attending networking events. Remember, push yourself outside them boundaries, and when you do that, you'll start to generate results over and above what everybody else who is not networking is doing. Way number 13. And this is what I call strategic partners. Now, what I mean by strategic partners, it's almost like networking. It's in person, but it's about identifying, write this down, who are non-competing businesses that's got the same target market as you. Let me say it again. Who are the non-competing businesses who have got the same target market as you? In other words, what other trades or professions do you know that if you could get in with, they could refer you to their residential or domestic customers, or into their commercial or industrial clients? They can open those doors of opportunity for you. Let me give you a couple of examples. As a joiner that morphed into a domestic, not commercial, domestic building company, great strategic partners who weren't competing for the same work as me, but had got the same target market as me, were architects, structural engineers, building control. Are you with me? So what did we do? We went out and forged great relationships with the top architects in and around Yorkshire. And by building up these relationships, and you scratching my back, I'm scratching yours, we used to get jobs passed to us by architects. And because we did such a fantastic job and had a great relationship with the architects, it was almost a formality that we'd got that job. We'd won it. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to strategic partners. Again, you might be in the domestic market, and you might not want to, but you might work for building contractors. They could be a good partner for you. So the more referral partners that you can build and strategic partnerships with building contractors that can then give you the work, then you're just being passed work. You're not having to market for it. It's the networking side that's working. On the commercial side, it could be that, I don't know, you might be an air conditioning or HVAC company, and you're a good strategic partner for you could be a facilities management company that looks after the management and maintenance of 50 office buildings in and around your area. Well, if you could get in with them and you built up a great relationship and you did a good job, they would keep passing you business, and it's a formality almost that you've got the work. Now think about it. We had at least 10 architects that we'd built a great relationship with. So literally every other day we get an email from one of our strategic partners, i.e. architects, saying, Craig, we've done drawings for this extension, or we've done drawings for this loft conversion. You know, this is the budget figure. Can you put a price together for us? And we knew as long as we were in around that budget, we'd win that work. Are you with me? So we had people passing us work. You need to do exactly the same. So again, my question is, who's a non-competing business that's got the same target market as you, that can open doors of opportunity for you, because that's technically classed as networking? Number 14. And this is your referral strategy. What is your referral strategy? And what I mean by this is, when you get to the end of a job, right? Usually at the end of a job, if you've done a good job, the customer may well offer the word of mouth referrals and promote you, or suggest you to a family member, perhaps a work colleague, or even someone that's asking in a Facebook group, does anybody know a good whatever, right? So this is like taking word of mouth and putting it on steroids. So for all those people that do get word of mouth referrals, how can we crank it up? And how we crank it up is we offer a referral strategy, okay? Now actually, this coming Thursday, 7 p.m, I'm doing a full-blown coaching session to our Growth Club members, all on creating and putting together their referral strategies, because I'm going to be introducing a new one on Thursday, and I want to lead by example, so I'm doing a session all on referral strategies. But what we've got to do is we've got to turn your happy customers or clients into a sales team. And if people are already naturally referring you through word of mouth, by putting an offer in, or an ethical bribe, whatever you want to call it, to say to a customer at the end of a job, look, are you happy with the job? Yes. Right. If I gave you X, Y, and Z, would you mind sharing our website or our contact details across social media, telling everyone what an amazing job we've done, and tag us in? Would you mind giving these referral cards out at work, or wherever your target market hang out? Where do they need to give the cards out? And in return, anybody that comes to us and uses us based on one of your referrals, we will give you X, Y, or Z. Are you with me? So you're going to reward and give people an incentive to start to refer you to more people. And again, this is happening organically anyway, so you know it works. Word of mouth works. So by putting a no-brainer offer in that allows people to refer you, and in return they get something back, that's where we need to be. You need a referral strategy in place to put your happy customers and clients and turn them into a sales team. And at the same time as doing all this, what you need to be doing is collecting more of those 5-star reviews, and also ask the customer if they wouldn't mind saying a few words and grabbing a video testimonial. Because think about it, if we're going to turn our happy customers into a sales team for us, we need the content from them to be able to prove and have social proof that you can solve the problems that your customers and clients have got. So by them referring you, knowing that they're going to get some kind of kickback or some kind of reward or incentive for promoting you, it's free marketing. By them giving you a 5-star review and you using that 5-star review as social proof to prove to people across social media that you're getting all these reviews, and at the same time helping your Google business listing climb the maps because that's another review, is social proof. And also, if you can get a video testimonial off them saying how clean, tidy, on time, on budget and amazing you are, and they recommend you to anyone, then now you've got marketing content that you can put all over social media and you've got video testimonials to add to your website. So what could you offer? What could you give away of value to a customer who gets you a potential new customer or client or gets you a job? Reward them. Number 15, and that's exhibitions or trade shows. Now, there's many of our Inner Circle and Growth Club members that have started doing exhibitions. And I see it all the time, whether that's at Grand Designs, whether that's at a local, let's say, more lower key exhibition where their target market's going to be there. I know for us, I live sort of like 15-minute drive away from a place called Chatsworth, which is in the Peak District, touching bordering into Derbyshire. Chatsworth House, you might have heard of it. They do Chatsworth Fair every year where literally tens and tens and tens of thousands of people go to that show. You've got a target market there that might want a builder, that might want a re-roof, that might want solar panels, that might need a new boiler. Are you with me? So I'm not just talking about exhibitions like at Construction Week or Grand Designs. They're great. But there's local trade shows or local exhibitions where you can exhibit and get eyes on your business. And again, the people that are prepared to do this, because most people won't, then you're going to get a different result. You're now putting yourself in the face visibly of your target market where nobody else is doing this. So you've got to start to consider exhibitions, local trade stands, local little exhibitions that are going off because you could be sat on an absolute goldmine, a little gem that nobody else has tapped into. So now what I want you to do is choose maybe 2 or 3 of those strategies that you're not currently doing, that you're going to add to the list of the 5 or 6 that you've already written down from the online marketing strategies. And now we're starting to do things online, but now we're starting to also do things offline. And the offline marketing, the in-person marketing strategies are incredibly powerful because that's all around relationship building. Now, I want to leave you with an episode that's going to help you when it comes to networking, all right? So this is episode number 38, and as I've already alluded to, we've already generated £120 million worth of work and referrals by our members networking at our events. So in episode 38, this is called the £120 million referral strategy. So this is a guide to networking and growing your trades and construction businesses all through the contacts that you're going to meet at networking events. Now, I said there were 3 different areas, and the third area is what I call print marketing, right? So things that can be printed on, right, to build brand awareness up around you or your business. Now, I'm going to share with you here 5 different strategies, but in reality, these 5 strategies should all tie in to one strategy. And I'm going to share my own personal experience of running a domestic construction company and how we use this print marketing to generate as an avalanche of leads coming in. And I'm guessing that most people won't be doing this. You'll have heard of it and you'll be doing bits of it, but pulling it all together in a roundabout strategy as a winner in these 5 areas, you're probably not doing. So let me share with you what these 5 areas are and how it all pulls together. So number 16 is magazine articles or advertising in your local little maybe church black and white magazine that you get pushed through your door. You see, in Sheffield where I'm based, we used to advertise in 3 glossy magazines that went to the 3 postcode areas that we worked in. You see, we would only work in 3 postcode areas of Sheffield, which were S17, S10 and S11. Why? Because those 3 areas are the most affluent areas of Sheffield. So that's where we would work. So what we did is we tracked down and worked out, right, what magazines, what are these 3 local glossy mags that get pushed through the door? Which magazines go to them areas? And we found that there were 3. So we put a full colour advert in all 3 of those magazines, as well as finding out what the little black and white local free, maybe church type of magazines or just little local community magazines, we advertise in them. Now, hear me out on here, because this is where the strategy goes together. So number 16 is advertising in magazines, because there is so many people still read and pick up magazines or newspapers. You might well do it yourself. If a local little glossy mag comes through the door, you probably pick it up and have a skim through, and you might see the same businesses advertising in there every month. Well, that's the brand awareness starting to work for you. So 16 is magazines. 17 is billboards. Right? Now, hear me out on this one. Again, within those 3 postcode areas, we noticed that there were certain places that we could put a billboard or advertise, whether that be through the council, whether that be on a digital billboard, or whether it be at the 5 golf courses that were in the 3 postcode areas that we worked in. There's 5 exclusive golf courses in Sheffield in them 3 postcodes. So it's like, hang on, we could sponsor teas, we could have billboards at the golf clubs. Are you with me? Likewise, there were 2 play centres where adults and parents would take the kids to play centres in them 2 areas. Now, given the fact that in them affluent areas, our customers came to us because they got growing families and they were running out of space. So we used to advertise on billboards and leaflets and things like that inside the local play centres, because we knew that our target market would be taking the kids there, and we knew that they only needed us because they were running out of space because the kids were growing. So we met them where our target market were hanging out. So 17 is billboards. And just to take this to a whole new level, on our inner circle coaching session last month, Jay Reid, who's an electrical contractor who's moved into renewable sector, right? Coincidentally, Jay's from Sheffield, just coincidentally. He put a post in our members WhatsApp group saying that he just had an advert go live on a billboard, and he took a photograph of the digital billboard and he posted it. Now, me being from Sheffield and me being in the same affluent area as where Jay lives, I knew straight away when I saw that digital billboard, I knew where it was, and I knew why Jay had done it. Because This is at a junction where you come out of, like, say, a big retail park where there's McDonald's and there's Sainsbury's and there's Pure Gym and kids' dance schools and a private nursery and all that in an affluent area of Sheffield. So when we jumped onto our accountability session on our inner circle, and I said to Jay, I know exactly where that billboard is. He's like, and he shared this with all of us in his inner circle group. He says, I can't believe it. It's only been live a few days. I've had 5 enquiries already for solar PV installation from a digital billboard. 5 enquiries already. So this is what I mean when you're prepared to do things that other people aren't prepared to do, and they're not saturating the market with billboard advertising, then you're going to get a different result. So Jay, big shout out to you for doing that, because I know that you're generating leads off it. So number 17 is billboard advertising. Now, the reason why we did this and the reason why I'm saying this ties into a strategy is if you look at things like magazine articles or newspapers or church mags or local glossy mags that get pushed through your front door, and you think of billboards in and around your affluent areas or the areas you want to work, that is what we call brand awareness marketing. In other words, what you're doing is you're making people aware in your local area where you want to work that you exist. It's brand awareness marketing. So if you think about it, if you're in local, let's say, community Facebook groups within that area, and you've got magazines and being dropped through people's doors in the same area, and you've got, let's say, billboard adverts or signs outside your local golf club or kids play centre in our instance, what you're starting to do is you're starting to make people aware in that geographical area that you exist. The awareness of you and your business is there. They're on the radar. Now, the clever strategy that we use to take this to a whole new level brings us on to number 18. Write this down. And number 18 is a board, or let's say scaffolding banner advertising outside the job that you're working on. Now think about it. We've been doing this marketing, magazines, billboards, all this, and we've now got a project in a place in an affluent area that we want to work in. What we need to do is we need to take that all up another gear. So what we did is we had some A boards made, and wherever the property that we were working on, at either end of the road, we'd go and drop an A board, chain it round a lamppost, right? And we put an A board at the end of the road. We'd have an A board, them like little swing boards outside the job. And because we needed scaffolding for our jobs, we had massive scaffolding banners printed. Now, you might not have scaffolding, so you don't need scaffold banners. But when you're outside somebody's project, outside somebody's house doing a project or a job, you can have the swing boards, one at each end of the street and one outside, can't you? With a QR code on that people just walk past and scan, right? That sends them back to a dedicated landing page, not a website. Okay? So now we're aware, people are aware of us. They see us working in that area because of the A boards and the banners. But then that brings us on to number 19. And number 19 is all of our vehicles were wrapped, right? They were wrapped. Whereas some of you are driving around in plain vehicles with no marketing or no advertising on them whatsoever. And I get the reason why some of you do that. You know, you don't want to draw attention to yourself because, tool theft and people breaking in. I get all that. But if you've got a vehicle, it's literally a driving billboard. But here's the challenge for some of you that have already had your vehicle sign written. They don't stand out. They're no different to the next van man or the next plumber or electrician that's driving round. They just blur into the background. If you want to get noticed, my suggestion would be that you have a full vehicle wrap. A full vehicle wrap on all your vehicles, on all your vans. Ben Curry, one of my Inner Circle members, I always talk about his vans. He's got a fleet of vans, and he's had them all. He's an electrical contractor, does solar PV, based in Derby. He's got all his vehicles wrapped, and they look stunning. When they're driving round, they turn heads. Likewise, Andrew Bell, one of my Inner Circle members, all the way down on the south coast of England, down in Bournemouth. Andrew has got a company called Precision Home Improvements. He's just took his van all the way up to Scotland to be wrapped at this company that is synonymous for vehicle wraps and designs. He's gone from Bournemouth to Scotland to have his vans wrapped, and his vans look insane. Likewise, this weekend alone, inside our Inner Circle WhatsApp group, Mark Wooler has just added a post of 4 or 5 of his vans on a road, all wrapped, all look absolutely stunning. They stand out from all the other vans that are driving round that have just got basic names and basic graphics on, or follow us on Facebook on the back doors of the van. I mean, come on. All that's gone. What you need is, in my opinion, is a full vehicle wrap to stand out with a QR code on. And if that vehicle or vehicles are now parked outside that property, where the magazine and the church mags have brought brand awareness, where the billboards and the advertising has brought brand awareness, where the A-boards and the scaffolding banners are out, bringing brand awareness and letting people know that you're working on this property. And then outside this property, you've got a vehicle or vehicles that are all branded up. I mean, that is how you get noticed. And think about it, the amount of people that see these vehicle-wrapped vans a day, it's like thousands of people will be seeing them. That's brand awareness. And then how many people drive past that road where they see the A-boards at each end? They see the van outside. They see the A-boards outside. They see the scaffolding banners outside. Then they drive round corner and they see the billboard. Then they pick the magazine up next month and they open it and you're in it. This is how you start to generate leads from print marketing. But it doesn't stop there, because number 20 and the final marketing strategy that I wanted to consider is what we did then is, while we were there, we leaflet dropped the entire development or area that we were working in. So we would have leaflets that were pushed through people's letterboxes in the areas that we wanted to market in, with the correct message on the leaflets, with an offer that they could not refuse. And a QR code that you scan that sends them straight back to a landing page that's got that offer on. And when they get back to that landing page, they go through a vetting form and into our automation inside Leadzilla, triggering emails and text messages off and nurturing them to build up a relationship. So leaflet dropping with this strategy in mind is incredibly powerful, because it seems that they can't get away from you. During a short period of time, you seem to be popping up everywhere. And if all these have got links on back to websites or landing pages and QR codes, and your marketing's right, and you've got a dedicated landing page with an unbelievable offer, or if you do send them back to your website, you've got the 16 killer features on that you need to turn it into an inquiry generating machine, then what we can start to do is get this brand awareness and this print marketing working for you on steroids. And trust me, it's one of the most cost-effective ways of being able to market your business. And the amount of people that see all this awareness going off is vast. So what I want you to do is, out of these 5 strategies that I've just shared with you now, pick 2 or 3 of these out that you're now going to start on and add them to your list. So now when you start to think about it, our marketing is starting to target people in different areas. Area number 1 is the people that are online. And we know that there's many, many, many people that are online, right? So we've got that area covered because there's all of those different things that we can start to do online. But then what we can do is we can start to do in-person marketing, where we're networking and we're building up relationships with people face to face outside of the online space. So now we've got that area covered. And then beyond that, we've got the print marketing and the brand awareness marketing kicking in for people in your local areas, so they're visually seeing you everywhere. Now all of a sudden, you've got 3 different strings to your bow attacking your target market online, in person, and brand awareness. They can't get away from you. Now think about this. There are people that are going to be online and are going to read that local glossy magazine and are going to see your vans and get that leaflet pushed through your letterbox. Now we're starting to get laser targeted with the marketing and how we're connecting with our customers and our demographic. Because this is not about you just having a random scattergun marketing approach where you're just putting random stuff out there at random times that everybody else is doing. Now we're starting to get laser focused on who our target market is, where do they hang out, and how can we put our business in front of them in their highest concentration. Now, the key to all of this is actually identifying who your target market are in the first place. Because many people don't know and have never worked out the 9 characteristics to identify who your B2B, business to business, in other words, you selling to commercial and industrial businesses, or B2C, business to consumer, in other words, you selling a product or service to Mrs. Jones who lives next door. If you've not worked out what these 9 characteristics are, and you're not getting laser focused on targeting your market towards that target market, right, then it's a scattergun approach and you're going to be wasting a lot of time and a lot of money on marketing that doesn't work or attracts too many time wasters and too many tire kickers. So what I want you to do with that in mind is listen to episode number 11, because in episode 11, I share with you what those 9 characteristics are for you to identify who is your target market from a B2B and a B2C perspective. Now, you might have a business where you actually, let's say you're a plumbing and heating engineer. You might service boilers and fit boilers for Mrs. Jones, your next door neighbour, but you also might work in schools or hotels or hospitals on commercial heating. Therefore, you've got 2 different target markets, and each one of them have got a different pain point or problem that you've got to solve, which means the marketing message and the marketing offer that you're putting out there in your marketing is completely different for the domestic market to the commercial market. So you must identify who your target market is, and episode number 11, I explain all that in detail. So your action task from this episode is to make sure that you've got 10, a minimum of 10 different marketing ways or strategies that you're going to market your business. You've got to take at least 5 or 6 from the first category, which was all about online marketing. I want you to take 2 or 3 from the in-person networking side, if you like, of marketing, and then 2 or 3 from the print side of marketing, and then you've got yourself covered in all areas. Now, go back to what I've been saying. There'll be some people listen to this who'll go, oof, that sounds like too much hard work. I ain't got the time. I ain't got the money. I ain't got this. Excuse. That's all it is. There are some people that are saying that and doing that now, and you'll not do anything different from what you've been doing up to this date now. And again, this has brought you to the point where you're at now, but it's a scattergun approach, and it's never going to get you to double, treble, quadruple size of your business or your profits doing what you're doing now. The only way it's going to change is if you change your approach and you start bolting on these other ways and areas of marketing, just like my Growth Club members are, just like my Inner Circle members are. They're starting to bolt all this lot on, and it's all starting to work. Now, I'd be interested to find out off you what areas of marketing you're now going to bolt on. So, if you are inside our free Facebook group and community, then please come on over and tell me that you've listened to episode 56 and put a post in there letting me know and everybody else know the areas that you're now going to start to bolt on and work on. Likewise, if you are a Growth Club member, you're in our secret community inside our school platform. I want you to do the exact same and come and tell your fellow Growth Club members what it is that you're going to be working on moving forward. Links to join our free Facebook group and community, or to come and join us over at our Growth Club, are in the episode show notes and the description, which will be around this episode. Remember, the business is never the problem. The problem is always the mindset of the business owner. If we can shift and change the mindset of the business owner, we can shift and change and grow our businesses and lives. So I'll catch up with you on next week's episode, and I'll meet you at the top. Thank you.